In the heart of a storm that has been brewing for weeks, Donald Trump, the king of political drama, made a move that no one saw coming. It was the kind of moment that would send shockwaves through the political world, leaving both allies and foes alike in a state of disbelief. The scene was set, a high-profile press conference, Trump in his usual seat, a room full of reporters with sharp questions, eager for the next headline. But then, the unexpected happened. When asked about JD Vance, the rising star of Ohio politics, Trump didn't give his usual scripted, calculated response. Instead, he delivered something that left the entire room silent, his words lingering in the air like a challenge. But the real kicker. Tesla's Elon Musk, who had been watching from the sidelines, reacted in a way that stunned everyone. What was it about Trump's response that shook the very core of the media? And why did Musk, a man known for his own unpredictable behavior, seem to know exactly how to turn this moment into something even bigger? Keep watching, because this is a story you won't believe until you see it unfold. It started like any other high-stakes press conference. Reporters filed into the room, the clicking of cameras and hurried scribbling of pens filling the air. Donald Trump stood behind the podium, his face as confident as ever. It was business as usual for the former president, until one question changed everything. The reporter, a seasoned political correspondent with a reputation for tough questions, stood up and directed the inquiry to Trump. Mr. Trump, what are your thoughts on JD Vance's rise in Ohio politics and his alignment with your vision for America? The room fell into a tense silence, the weight of the question hanging in the air. JD Vance, the author of Hillbilly Elegy and a former critic of Trump, had recently gained attention with his political career, aligning himself with Trump's policies. It was a relationship full of tension, the kind of back and forth that made headlines, and now, the world was waiting for Trump's response. For years, Trump had navigated the world of politics like a master tactician, using his sharp tongue and charisma to sway public opinion. But this time, things felt different. Everyone expected him to either praise Vance for his loyalty or attack him for his past criticisms. Instead, Trump looked at the reporter, his expression unreadable. Then, in a move that left everyone in the room stunned, he said something unexpected. JD Vance? He's a smart guy. You know, I don't always agree with him, but I respect his drive. It takes guts to go from being a critic to a believer. He's a reflection of what America needs, someone who can evolve, someone who can change. The reporters exchanged confused glances. The tension in the room escalated, and whispers spread like wildfire. Trump, the man known for tearing down his rivals with fiery rhetoric, had just complimented Vance in a way no one could have predicted. His words were measured, almost kind, a far cry from the usual scathing remarks. Then, as if the moment wasn't already shocking enough, Elon Musk, who had been quietly observing from the back of the room, stepped forward. Musk, the tech mogul with his unpredictable style, had always maintained a neutral stance on politics, keeping his opinions close to the chest. But that day, in the midst of the stunned silence, Musk did something that no one expected. He clapped. It was a single, slow clap. A deliberate gesture that echoed through the room, sending ripples through the audience. The reporters stared, wide-eyed, as Musk's smirk appeared. With his hands still together, he nodded toward Trump, as if giving him a silent signal of approval. The press conference shifted in that moment. It was no longer just about Trump's words, it was about what Musk's reaction meant. Was it a signal of alignment between the two powerful figures? Or was it Musk, ever the provocateur, playing a game of his own? The tension in the room began to rise again as reporters tried to process the implications of this strange, almost surreal interaction. Trump, unfazed, stood tall, his expression still calm. But beneath the surface, the undercurrents of politics began to stir. Trump's unexpected approval of Vance was a game-changer. It suggested that he was moving past old grievances and embracing a more inclusive, strategic approach. It hinted at the possibility of new alliances, of a redefined future for the Republican Party. Musk's role in the situation was equally captivating. Known for his unpredictability and his ability to turn any moment into a spectacle, Musk's endorsement, or whatever it was, added another layer of complexity to the already charged atmosphere. He had the power to sway opinions, to shape narratives, and in this instance, his reaction felt like a signal. A signal that the rules of politics were shifting, that the old guard of Washington might no longer hold the same sway. As the press conference wore on, the room buzzed with questions about Vance, Trump, and Musk. The reporters couldn't get enough of the drama. Was there a deeper connection between Musk and Trump? Were they forming an alliance? And what did Trump's kind words about Vance mean for the future of the GOP? Everyone was left wondering, had Trump just reshaped the political landscape, or was this all part of an even bigger play? The back and forth between the reporters, the unsettling silence, and the unmistakable tension created an atmosphere that left everyone on edge. But Trump, ever the master of control, stood there with a cool, calculated demeanor. His response was simple, yet it carried the weight of something far greater. There was a shift in the air, a feeling that things were about to change. What that change would look like, no one knew. But one thing was certain, the story of that day wasn't over yet. The clock ticked on, but the questions didn't stop. Reporters continued to press Trump, trying to find cracks in the new narrative he had just begun to create. Yet, Trump remained unfazed, responding to each question with the same calm, measured tone. He spoke about the importance of evolution in politics, of embracing change and growth. And as for JD Vance, Trump spoke highly of his potential, of the future he believed Vance could have in the party. The world was watching, waiting for the next dramatic twist in this political saga. But little did anyone know, this moment would be remembered not just for Trump's unexpected response, but for what came next, and how the tech mogul, Elon Musk, had just laid the groundwork for a political spectacle like no other. As the press conference entered its final moments, a palpable tension lingered in the air. Reporters fired off question after question, each one more probing than the last. But despite the constant barrage, Trump remained an unshakable force. His calm, almost serene demeanor stood in stark contrast to the storm of media pressure surrounding him. It was as though he was in control of the narrative, even as the questions grew more intense. But then, one reporter, a political pundit known for his aggressive style, raised the stakes even higher. "Mr. Trump," the reporter began, "your words about JD Vance were surprisingly positive. Given his past criticisms of you, some might say you're being too forgiving, even naive. What message do you hope to send with this new alignment? Is there more to this relationship than meets the eye?" The room fell silent, the eyes of everyone in the room fixed on Trump. His answer, it seemed, would either defuse or ignite the already volatile situation. For a moment, Trump paused, his gaze shifting from the reporter to the audience. The room was still. And then, in a move that left everyone holding their breath, Trump responded with a profound, yet simple, truth. Forgiveness isn't about weakness. It's about strength. It takes real power to rise above the noise and to build bridges where others might burn them. We can't be afraid to change our minds, to evolve. JD and I may not always agree, but I respect his willingness to grow. That's what America needs, leaders who are willing to evolve, to put the country above personal grudges. The words hit the room like a bombshell. For a moment, no one spoke. The reporters sat in stunned silence, processing what they had just heard. Trump wasn't just defending Vance, he was redefining the rules of political engagement. He wasn't holding onto old grudges. He wasn't clinging to past insults. He was offering a path forward, one built on forgiveness, evolution, and unity. But then, as if the situation needed another twist, Musk, who had remained relatively silent since his initial clap, stood up. With a smirk still on his face, he raised his hand. The room went still again. Everyone knew that Musk, when he spoke, commanded attention. "You know, I have to agree with Mr. Trump here," Musk said, his voice calm but unmistakably confident. "We need more of this, more growth, more forgiveness. It's not just about politics. It's about what's best for the people. And if Trump can find common ground with JD Vance, maybe that's exactly the kind of leadership we need in the future." Musk's words were like a spark to dry tinder. The room erupted into a mix of whispers, questions, and speculation. Was Musk endorsing Trump? Was he signaling something bigger? Was this a new alliance in the making? It was clear that Musk's endorsement, however subtle, wasn't just a casual statement. It was an endorsement of Trump's vision for the future of the GOP, of the political world. But the true surprise came just moments later. Trump, ever the master of the unexpected, nodded slowly at Musk's words, as if he had been waiting for this very moment. With a knowing smile, Trump looked directly at the audience and said, "It's about the future. The past is done. What matters is what we do now, how we build the future for our children, our country. JD, Elon, and I, we're all part of that future." And with those words, the political landscape shifted. No longer was this just about Trump and Vance. It was about something much bigger, a new era of politics where alliances could be formed, not out of necessity or convenience, but out of a shared vision for the future. The room buzzed with energy, reporters scrambling to keep up with the implications of Trump's and Musk's statements. Was this the beginning of a new political order? Were we witnessing the dawn of a powerful new political alliance? As the press conference came to a close, the crowd was left in stunned silence, unable to fully process the magnitude of what had just transpired. The usual cacophony of questions and comments faded away, replaced by the lingering sense that the world had just witnessed something monumental. In that room, two of the most powerful figures in politics and technology had just reshaped the narrative. They had offered the world a glimpse into a new political reality, one where the past was forgiven and the future was all that mattered. As Trump walked off the stage, his expression remained calm, but behind his eyes, there was a fire that had been reignited by the possibilities of what lay ahead. And as for Musk, he simply stood there, hands in his pockets, watching it all unfold. He knew that the game had changed, and the world would never be the same again. For the reporters, for the political world, and for the millions watching from home, the questions remained: what comes next? And how far will Trump and Musk go in reshaping the future of American politics? In that moment, it became clear that the political landscape would never be the same again. What seemed like an ordinary press conference had evolved into a landmark moment in history, a moment that would echo for years to come. As the press conference drew to a close, the room was still buzzing with the weight of the historic moments they had just witnessed. Reporters and viewers alike were left to ponder what had just unfolded. But in the midst of all the noise and confusion, one thing became crystal clear: the world was standing at the precipice of a new era. The rules of politics, of leadership, and of what it means to build a future were changing right before our eyes. Trump's unexpected words about JD Vance were more than just a political maneuver, they were a call to something greater. A call to look beyond old grudges and petty divisions, to recognize that the true strength of a leader lies not in their ability to hold on to the past, but in their willingness to build the future. The very nature of forgiveness, of growth, of evolving with time, these were the themes that had been woven throughout the day. In that one moment, Trump not only reshaped the narrative of his own political journey, but also challenged the world to think differently about what it means to lead with compassion, vision, and strength. And then, there was Elon Musk. The visionary tech magnate, who had always been a figure of rebellion and innovation, added another layer to this shifting paradigm. His quiet endorsement, his words of unity and growth, were a testament to the power of aligning for the greater good. Musk didn't just stand behind Trump that day, he stood behind a shared belief that progress doesn't come from holding on to the past, but from daring to create a new future. As the dust began to settle, what remained was a profound sense of possibility. The audience had just witnessed something that was bigger than politics. It was a moment that transcended ideologies, divisions, and the conventional rules of engagement. What they saw was a glimpse of a future where collaboration, compassion, and evolution were the driving forces. Where leaders embraced change, forgave, and dared to dream of something greater. For the millions watching from home, this moment wasn't just about Trump and Musk, it was about every single person who dares to believe in a better tomorrow. It was a call to action, to rise above our differences, to look to the future, and to embrace the power of forgiveness and growth. As Trump and Musk showed us that day, real leadership comes not from the battles we fight, but from the bridges we build. And it's up to each of us to take that lesson and carry it forward. So, as you watch this story unfold, ask yourself, what kind of future do I want to build? What bridges can I create, and what walls can I tear down? The change we seek begins with each of us, one action, one decision, one act of kindness at a time. Let this moment inspire you to step into the future with courage, humility, and the unwavering belief that together, we can create something better for tomorrow.